Soon may the wellerman come, bring us coffee, tea, and rum. One day the tonguing is done, take our leave and go. At a fair in the sun of town, her hair was blonde and her dress was brown. Soon may the wellerman come around. After spending a peaceful night on Sad Island, I awoke just after sunrise, recharged and ready to continue my tour of small islands of the Cumberland River. Later that morning, as I was packing up and preparing to set sail, I caught a glimpse of two figures seemingly watching me from a distant point of the island. They seemed to be wearing identical clothing and stepped in unison as they disappeared behind the terrain. To make things even stranger, I had heard no motors all night and all morning, and had a clear view of any likely approaches by water. I set out on foot to investigate this unexplained phenomenon. Turned out these were no specters, just a couple of 18th century trappers on their own river voyage. Just ordinary, everyday stuff. They had been admiring my skiff from the point. We chatted briefly, wished each other well, and went our separate ways. This is the second and final day of my overnight jaunt in my home-built sailing skiff, and I have a busy day of sailing and exploring ahead. I'm bound for Big Pelican Island, sister island of North Pelican, but much larger. It's a relatively short reach across the flats to the east, and the morning wind is slowly building. But first, I have to get off the bank and out of the mud with the rudder buried. This was really not a great place to beach the skiff for the night, but the entire island has gently sloping banks that are pretty much all the same, so this spot was as good as anywhere else. I've landed on Big Pelican Island here, otherwise known as South Pelican Island, and I'm on the south point of this island right now, and the south end is just kind of one big sand dune. It's a really nice little spot, and there's actually evidence of a fellow adventurer having been here not that long ago, it doesn't look like to me. Got some remains of a campfire, and this would be a really cool place to stop and camp on any kind of a cruise. Like most of these islands, it's just a long, narrow strip of mostly sand and mud and some fine gravel and a lot of little fine shells. And looking to the north, that's the majority of the woods. It's a hard life for a tree out here, trying to keep your roots down. The biggest trees, some of the big trunks out here. Well, this one out here, that big willow trunk, it's dead. It's been uprooted. Massive willow trunk, or maybe several trunks that have grown together. It's still alive, but its roots are barely hanging on. Hard to stand up to that wind out on the windswept islands. Man, this island is massive compared to any of the others. I've been here once before. I actually did a video on it. I want to say that was maybe last fall. I thought I had seen most of the island, but over on the west side here, this is just a massive area just of flats. It's just open. And I really didn't get over here and check this out at all. But I think the water is significantly lower than the last time I was here, therefore making the footprint of this island a lot bigger. So right here, this big area of mud flats, it's pretty dry right now. At Summer Pool, this is probably under 3 foot of water, I would say. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of bathtubs right here with a hole cut out. And it's kind of interesting, actually. I was just talking to a fisherman the other day saying that he has certain bathtubs placed on Lake Barkley that he knows how to get to. And this is done specifically for noodling, which you may have heard of. Noodling is a way of catching catfish with your bare arm. Basically, you stick your arm in the catfish's den and it bites down and you pull it out, and it's a way to catch really big catfish. But the danger of noodling in natural structure is that you don't know if you're going to get a catfish. You might get something bad like a snapping turtle. It's going to bite your fingers off, or maybe even bite your hand off. So that's the reason for the bathtubs, is that they cut the hole so a big snapper can't get into the bathtub. It's only big enough for catfish. That's the idea anyways. I'm noticing a lot more people tracks out here, boot prints and the like, and I would guess that's probably because it's located so close to a big creek channel, and that channel actually allows you to cross from the LBL side over to the Cumberland River channel and back and forth. And so it makes it pretty easy to get here in a power boat or any boat. And I discovered that the south end, which is also the highest elevation, the slope is quite a bit steeper. It's not nearly as flat as what you see behind me. So it's a lot easier to get up to the island without grounding out way too early. But also, it's probably the fact that this island is so much bigger than any other that I know. So it presents a lot of opportunities for fishermen and waterfowlers, maybe relic hunters. A lot of evidence of people walking out here on this place. Not so much on really any of the other islands or shoals. Typically when I go there, I might find one set of tracks, one set of boot prints, maybe with a dog accompanying, but usually that's about it. This little willow strip is just nice. It creates some really nice shade. $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30, $31, $32, $33, $34, $35, $36. So I just got back to the boat in the south end of the island, and on the walk back, I kept a pace count in order to measure the length of this island, and it is a lot bigger even than I thought it was. So my pace count is every 62 paces. I know that's 100 meters, and 1,000 meters is a kilometer. At first, I estimated maybe this island was 600 meters long. It's hard to know because you can really not see the entire thing at once because of the trees. So based on my pace count, I measured that it's 1,100 meters long. So a full kilometer plus 100 meters. That's pretty big for any of the islands out here. And probably the width at the widest point, actually the width at the average width, we'll say, is 250 to 300 meters. So it's a big island.
Sailing down past Dover in an old-time river, yo. The eagle, his companion, with its friendly chirping call. Cumberland River rat, camping by the riverside. Know him by the big straw hat, 25 miles wide. Cumberland River rat, 700 miles to go. Deckhands all may laugh, he's gonna get there slow. A beggar's life just ain't for him, no shame and strife. He's a river rat with an old straw hat, his grandpa's Bowie knife. Cumberland River rat, camping by the riverside. You know him by the big straw hat, 25 miles wide. Cumberland River rat, 700 miles to go. Deckhands all may laugh, he's gonna get there slow. Somewhere near Paducah, 700 miles down, the gale wind knocked her over, and he feared that he would drown. Some brave river captain towed him to the shore, took him to an alehouse, and he never played the rat no more. Cumberland River rat, camping by the riverside. You know him by the big straw hat, 25 miles wide. Cumberland River rat, 700 miles to go. Deckhands all may laugh, he's gonna get there slow.
On the next episode of River Islands, I keep my skiff rolling along with the north wind, bound for one last stop, Black Sand Shoal. I'm out of the flats and in the deep creek channel with plenty of power to get where I want to go. Hope you'll join me on the next episode of River Islands. Pennants are now available at cumberlandrover.com. Historically flown for signal purposes, a pennant is that indescribable something that your boat is missing. They can help you read the wind, increase visibility of your small craft, and they just look cool, fluttering from the masthead or yard of a lug sail. You can have any color you want, as long as it's bright red. I have 2 styles of pennant now available at cumberlandrover.com.